He was born with the blues in Lafayette, Louisiana, but raised in Los Angeles, Bobby Parker jumped into show business at a young age.
Performing is more than just playing music. I've always liked the old school style show business.
Bobby Parker's an American original. He's got the guitar licks of Buddy Guy and the moves of James Brown, but he makes his own music and always has.
I love music, man. I loved it all my life, and I learned how to play by watching a lot of other guys.
By the 1950s, Parker was appearing with many of the greatest bluesmen and entertainers ever, some almost forgotten.
I learned the old stuff, and it's still in me. I've got to use it.
He spent time making music with pioneers who became legends: Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Sam Cooke, Fats Domino, Bo Diddley.
He's doing a herringbone. Wobble-to-wobble-to-wobble. And he had a sound there that nobody else was doing that.
But 4 years later, the music died. Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and the Big Bopper killed in a plane crash. Parker was on the same tour.
When we got that tragic news, the bottom fell out for a day or two. It took a lot out of us on that tour. But we got it together and went on.
Parker says he has to reinvent himself every few years to stay in the game. He's never become a big star, more often the sideman or mentor to others. He feels he's been overlooked.
A lot of people ask me, you haven't gotten your just due yet. And they're right. As you grow older and more subtle in this business, you kind of get left out. I think it's not fair, but that's the ways of the world.
On a recent Saturday night in Washington, D.C., where Parker makes his home, he still packs them in at a local blues club, Madam's Organ, drawing fans old and young.
We try to keep the music so it's hot, jumping and rocking.
Parker says the ups and downs of life are what the blues are all about.
It's not necessarily downtrodden. Love stories, depressions, things that make everyday life what it is, the blues. The old tradition, soul grooves for singers, is let the music come by you. Kick in when the music is happening and say something hot when the music drops a little bit. It works. It worked for James Brown. It worked for a lot of the old-time cats.
Through the 50s and 60s, Parker was on the road playing everywhere, from Harlem's legendary Apollo Theater to the Chitlin Circuit in what was the segregated South.
We played in tobacco warehouses. Great shows, but the times were different.
But the times were changing, and Parker was instrumental in making change happen.
One of my greatest songs that I love to play, and it's called Watch Your Step.
In 1961, Parker broke through on the pop charts, taking blues in a new direction, making it rock and roll. Watch Your Step became a crossover hit on the eve of the British invasion. Everyone was listening, even the Beatles. Jimmy Page and Led Zeppelin also heard the guitar lick. Back in the States, the Allman Brothers shaped the sound into Southern rock. Parker's blues rock guitar influenced British legends, including Eric Clapton, Steve Winwood. Growing up in Mexico, Carlos Santana heard Parker play in Tijuana.
He tells everybody that I was his first influence, and I'm so happy to know that.
Parker is a musician's musician and still hoping to make it big.
I got a lot of fire still.
At 72, he's not about to slow down. Largely an unknown musical treasure, Bobby Parker He's the man who rocked the blues. Carl Sears, NBC News, Washington.